With its beautiful red rocks and warm, sunny climate, St. George has become more than just a vacation spot for tourists. It's now a final destination for many to call home.
And so my wife and I decided to come down here and make a decision. We had a vacation home for many years, but we decided that we were going to retire here. So we retired here about 4 years ago.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the city of St. George has grown by nearly 25,000 people in the last decade, bringing the population to around 97,000 by mid-2021. It's consistently among the fastest-growing cities in the nation and is touted by many as a great place to live for many reasons.
Community, and that's the great thing about St. George, is a community. It's not like a overflowing of many cities combined. It's really a community, and I've seen that, and I really enjoy the fact that you could go down Main Street and go to little different restaurants. People are walking around. You have now, which is great, you have pubs and bars and breweries and nicer restaurants that are coming in. I'm at the Farmstead currently and bring my family here a lot. They love all the food here at Farmstead.
For the past 5 to 10 years, we've always been in the top 5, and we've hit one a handful of times. And St. George is a great place to be. It's a great place to live, and I think we're going to continue to see growth. I think we've been discovered.
With development as the city's #1 industry, plans for managing that growth now and into the future are a top priority for city officials over the next 20 years. The St. George City Master Plan will focus on development and other lifestyle issues into the year 2040.
What this general plan will do is maintain that same quality of life that everyone has moved here and everyone that's lived here, grown up here, what they've enjoyed, and be able to continue that for the next 20 plus years.
Danielle Larkin, who has lived in St. George for the past 31 years, wants to help tailor that growth for the better. The challenge will be to keep the small town feel while at the same time improving infrastructure to keep up with the demand of the growth, including diversity.
So that this becomes a place where people can live in all ages and stages of their lives. That if you're a young entrepreneur, that you feel like downtown has a space for you. If you're older and retiring and downtown is a place where maybe you're not going to be driving your car anymore and you want to be able to get around downtown and live in your older age, so that it feels like a safe space for you also.
The city of St. George is asking citizens to make their comments known in several areas in the next general plan to use as a guide.
We've narrowed it down to 7 distinct categories. And those categories, they range everything from lifestyle to economic vitality to thriving downtown, arts and culture, responsible growth. And those are the areas that we're really focusing on.
Questions include what citizens would like to see when it comes to development, especially when it comes to housing, businesses, and other infrastructure. As a city councilwoman, Larkin also serves on the Stakeholder Committee, which has been meeting monthly on these issues.
We do have to have some density around the entire city. It doesn't all need to be downtown, and it shouldn't all be downtown. It needs to be equally and safely spread throughout the city so that there's those startup homes for our kids.
One of the most critical areas is responsible growth, and that includes water.
It does provide some policy and some goals for conservation measures in the city to look at conservation measures in regards to water.
It also focuses on transportation, trails, and sharing the road.
Remembering that when we're frustrated by the traffic, that we are the traffic. And so having neighborhood commercial so that if you don't want to drive, into town to go to the grocery store, that you could actually get groceries in your neighborhood, within a 2-mile radius, that you don't have to drive so far for necessities of life.
Residents have until the end of April to make their thoughts known before the city develops the layout for a new master plan.
Once the survey is done, we're going to look at our draft, finalize it. At that point, take it to City Council and the Stakeholder Committee and get some feedback, and then finalize a draft that will then be released to the public. The public can look at it and give us comments, and hopefully finalize it by late summer.
To take part in the survey, you can go to the city's website at sgcity.org under St. George 2040. There's also a downtown plan coming out in the next week or so.
It's kind of a sub-area master plan. that's focusing primarily on the downtown.
We have maintained those historic neighborhoods downtown that are still really quaint and quiet, and that's an important part of the equation. Downtown, just by its nature, is going to be more lively, and it is going to be a space where you probably have to park and walk in, because that's what keeps the businesses thriving, is the footfall, right? Like, there needs to be a certain number of people down here to make the businesses thrive.
In St. George, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.